Prepping is all about being ready for the unexpected, but even the most seasoned preppers can fall into some common traps. These mistakes might seem small now, but when a real emergency hits, they can make all the difference. In today's video, we're going over the top 10 common mistakes preppers make and how you can avoid them to stay one step ahead. Stick around because the last one could be the most critical mistake that preppers don't even realize they're making. Let's get started. One of the biggest mistakes preppers make is focusing too much on gear and not enough on skills. Don't get me wrong, gear is important, but it won't save you if you don't know how to use it. Expensive gear is useless if you don't know how to start a fire, purify water, or navigate without GPS. The same goes for fancy gadgets. They might be really cool, but in a real emergency, the basics like first aid, fire starting, and basic shelter building skills are what will keep you alive. Before you buy that next piece of shiny gear, invest time in honing your survival skills. Learn to use what you already have and build up from there. It's those practical hands-on experiences that will make all the difference when stuff hits the fan. Having the right gear and survival skills isn't enough if you haven't put them to the test. Imagine needing to set up a tent during a storm and realizing you've never even opened the bag, or needing to purify water with your new filter but not knowing how it works. In an emergency, there's no time for trial and error. Make it a priority to test every piece of gear you own, use your fire starters, set up your shelter, and filter water just so you know what to expect. Practice your skills regularly and don't forget about situational awareness in your everyday life. In a real crisis, being able to read your environment, recognize threats, and make quick decisions is just as important as any gear in your bag. Take your gear camping, even if it's just in your backyard, and simulate emergency situations. Practice with your family, whether it's a power outage drill or a bug out practice. Make sure everyone knows their role. The more you practice, the more second nature these skills will become when it counts. Stockpiling supplies is essential, but putting all your eggs in one basket can leave you vulnerable. If disaster, such as a fire, strikes your home or you're forced to leave, losing your entire stockpile in one go can be devastating. Spread your supplies across multiple locations. Keep some in your car, at a trusted family member's house, in a climate-controlled storage, or even in hidden spots if you have a bug-out location. Also, don't forget to rotate your supplies. Food and water, even with long shelf lives, can go bad over time. Make it a habit to check expiration dates and rotate items out regularly, replacing them with fresh stock to ensure that you're always ready when the time comes. It's easy to focus on stockpiling supplies and gear, but prepping also means making sure you're physically capable of handling whatever comes your way. Emergencies are physically demanding. You might need to carry heavy supplies, walk long distances, or endure long periods of stress. If your health isn't up to par, even the best gear won't save you. Start by maintaining physical activity and keeping up with medical checkups. Make sure you have a stockpile of any medications you need and consider basic fitness routines that improve strength, endurance, and flexibility. Being physically prepared can be just as important as having the right gear when stuff hits the fan. In a long-term emergency, sanitation quickly becomes an issue that many preppers overlook. Poor hygiene can lead to illness, which can spread quickly in close quarters and stress an already bad situation. Stocking up on soap, hand sanitizer, and basic hygiene products is just as important as any other prep. Think about how you'll handle waste and cleanliness if running water or power is out for days or even weeks. Items like baby wipes, portable toilets, and trash bags are easy to store and can make a world of difference in keeping things sanitary and manageable when resources are limited. Our pets are family, but too often they're left out of prepping plans. Just like humans, they need food, water, and basic medical supplies during an emergency. Don't wait until last minute to figure out how you're going to care for your pets during a crisis. Prep for them just like you would for yourself. Set aside enough food and water for your pets to last at least the same duration you're prepping for. Consider a small pet bug-out bag with essentials like food, a water bowl, a leash, and any medications they may need. You'll want to have these things ready so if you need to evacuate, your pets can come with you safely and comfortably. I've covered this topic in more detail in a separate video, which I'll link in the description. One of the biggest mistakes a prepper can make is sticking to a single plan. In an emergency, things rarely go as expected. You might plan to bug out, but what if the roads are blocked? Or maybe you're counting on your stockpile at home, but what if you're forced to evacuate? Having a backup plan and even a backup for your backup is crucial. You just don't want to prepare for one type of disaster. Sure, you might be ready for a natural disaster, but what about an economic collapse or a prolonged power outage? Prepping means being ready for anything, so diversify your preparations and make sure you're adaptable no matter what happens. Prepping isn't just about stockpiling food and water. Financial preparedness is just as critical. In a crisis, cash is king, and you don't want to be stuck without access to your bank account or relying on credit cards that might not work. Having an emergency fund and cash in small bills gives you flexibility when digital systems go down. Think long-term too. An economic collapse can be even more devastating than a natural disaster. Make sure your finances are in order, reduce debt where possible, and consider storing value in assets like precious metals. Being financially prepared ensures you can weather the storm no matter what form it takes. I covered this topic in another video, and I'll leave a link in the description below. Emergencies are just as much a mental challenge as they are physical. Prepping in and of itself gives you peace of mind if disaster strikes, but even the best gear and the most well-laid plans can fail if you're not mentally prepared to handle the stress, fear, and uncertainty that comes with a disaster. Panic can cause people to make rash decisions, and fear can be paralyzing if you're not ready for it. To build mental resilience, run emergency drills with your family, simulating situations like evacuations or long-term power outages. Try going without electricity for a weekend or living off your emergency supplies for a few days to stress test your preps and think critically under pressure. You can also combine physical and mental conditioning, like going for strenuous hikes while practicing navigation and decision making. The more you push yourself in controlled situations, the better you'll be able to handle real-life emergencies. One of the biggest and most dangerous mistakes preppers make is telling too many people about their preparations. In a crisis, desperate people may turn to you if they know you have supplies, and this can make you a target. That's why it's crucial to keep your prepping plans to a close circle of trusted people, ensuring you're not putting yourself or your family at unnecessary risk. At the same time, trying to go at it alone can be risky. In an emergency, having a trusted community or network can significantly increase your chances of survival. Prepping with a group allows you to share resources, knowledge, and skills, but always be selective with who you collaborate with. Knowing who you can trust is key to staying safe. Prepping is all about being ready for whatever life throws at you, but even the most seasoned preppers can overlook crucial details. By avoiding these 10 mistakes, you'll be much better equipped to handle emergencies and protect your loved ones. Remember, prepping isn't just about having the right gear, it's about skills, adaptability, and the mindset to face any challenge head on. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with others, and subscribe to Texan Prepper for more tips on emergency preparedness. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what mistakes preppers should avoid, so let me know in the comment section below. Stay safe, keep prepping, and I'll see you in the next one.